Hello, everyone. It's the Cruzin Podcast. We're back with a new episode. I think the main things I want to talk about. Last night we saw Scoob and the Scooby Doo movie on HBO Max. We saw Fantastic Four, the 2015 Fantastic Four, directed by Josh Trank with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. It had been some time for me since I had seen it. I think that was the first time you saw it, right? So we can talk about that one briefly. But the main thing we did want to talk about that we saw over the weekend was the Hamilton Broadway show on Disney Plus, which, by the way, I mean, Disney Plus got 500 plus million new subscribers just for Hamilton, which is insane. Hamilton's a huge Broadway show. We saw it over the weekend, and we have some thoughts on it. It was really interesting. So, I mean, I guess, was there any news or anything that we missed out on? Well, TRON 3 is in development as well. TRON
Finally.
3 is happening. So, reportedly with Jared Leto, and they're trying to get Joseph Krasinski.
The guy who did the first.
He did
Legacy,
TRON Legacy back in 2010, 10 years ago, which is crazy. And they want to get Daft Punk back to score, which I think is amazing. I mean, Daft Punk hasn't done any new music since Random Access Memories. And
yeah.
I think
one of them did worked on some songs in Climax.
Yeah, but
one of them,
them as a
both.
group, them as a group, they haven't done anything. I think since Random Access Memories, which was 2012, I think. 2013, which I mean, I think it won Grammy for best album of the year.
Yeah, of course.
That album is amazing.
Yeah.
To this day, every once in a while, we still listen to it, and what they did with that album was amazing. So, people were more excited about the fact of them possibly coming back to record something.
Yeah, because for TRON, that music was amazing at TRON.
Yeah, they did great. TRON Legacy did have some issues,
It wasn't bad. I mean,
it could have been better,
obviously.
considering. But I think right now with the technology where it's at and everything, I think they can do some really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Jared Leto, I can see Jared Leto in a TRON movie. That would be interesting. People are not too excited about it, but. I could, all Joker aside, with Suicide Squad and stuff. Jared Leto's a good actor, and he was really good in Blade Runner,
Yeah, he was cool.
I'm interested. Him in TRON, I think, I don't
he
know
might
what.
be the villain.
Yeah, maybe he'll be like a villain or something. But I can see
because
him in TRON.
I read, I don't know if it was true or not, but supposedly they wanted the old cast back.
I like the Jared Leto idea. I love the fact that they're trying to bring back Daft Punk and the same director.
I don't know who's writing it though.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a script done.
Because there's supposed to be a show. And they said no.
That's what I'm confused about. There was a show at first pitched for Disney Plus.
But I guess instead of doing a show, let's do a good movie.
But isn't the script done for the movie? They pitched it.
I read up. Supposedly they say that the script is really good.
That's what I'm saying. So was it? Is there two different ideas, or
maybe
was it at first pitched as a show, then a movie now?
Maybe it could have just been that. Let's wait and see. I mean, I really hope because TRON. I like TRON.
Yeah, TRON is such a great IP, and I think
no one uses it.
I think it would make a lot of sense, especially with.
Man, the way movies are now, they can do something really cool.
Yeah, with the technology.
Because look at the Mandalorian with the screen.
Yeah, they use those 360. I mean, they can do some great stuff. Because the movie looked great back in 2010, considering the technology at the time. So imagine now.
Like the thing with Jeff Bridges, as young, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was the very first, around the first stages of de-aging.
That was impressive. I mean, that.
And look at where it is now. I mean, we've been wanting a TRON sequel for a long time. When I heard about Disney declining a TV series, I was really upset. But if there's a movie, I can roll with that too.
Yeah, and I think it's a sequel supposedly too.
It's TRON 3. They're labeling as TRON 3. Let's see. I hope there's a full confirmation on it that it's happening.
Hopefully.
Right now, we probably won't hear anything. I love the idea of Tron. I think Tron would be. It needs to come back. It's such a cool IP.
Yeah,
It's a great story,
Either-
and with the
you
technology
can do
where
some,
it's at,
like shows. You can do a lot of cool
they can
stuff.
do anything. And I like the idea of a movie. It's time.
And plus, they have their new ride. I mean,
Yeah,
so-
it makes sense. Disney right now, they have that Tron ride. They have one open in Japan. They're working on the one now in Magic Kingdom here in Orlando. It makes sense. You
They
know,
have to.
by the time the ride is done, maybe get the movie announced. It flows. You know, I think that would be great, man. Tron is such a cool story.
Daft Punk
And
with the score.
Daft Punk did. I mean, that was one of the highlights of Tron Legacy, the score.
Yeah.
Acting aside, maybe it was definitely lacking some things. I rewatched some of it not too long ago. I feel like the action could have been better.
Yeah.
And, there things that could be fixed. But it deserves. It's long overdue. Tron 3 news is honestly pretty awesome. I'm really hoping it happens. I really hope so. Today I was telling you when we were just there at the house, and I was like, man, like I just feel like going to the movies. It's kind of weird. Like it kind of hit me. I was like, I'm kind of used to this routine already of where there's nowhere to really like go, or you can't go to the movies. We were used to go to the movies like 3 times a week at points, and now it's like, man, like it kind of hit me. I was like, damn, I haven't gone to the movies in a while. Like I kind of just feel like going to the movies. I like just going somewhere.
And this year was such a good year for movies.
Yeah, now
we would have
Tenet,
had Quiet Place, James Bond,
Wonder
Woman, Top Gun, and Tenet.
Fast and the Furious. Well,
Yeah,
that's a big blockbuster.
I'm talking about good movies, not like.
Yeah, but it's a
ones.
big blockbuster. We have
But
to
still,
throw it
like,
in
those
there.
are like 5 movies right there that we would have already had.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Now
it's a lot.
we don't know.
And not including now in the holidays, Dune. There's some good amount of stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know, what was it? I think only Doom. I think that was the last big one. Doom.
Maybe. And it sucks because, yeah, it kind of hit me today. I don't know what happened. I was like, man, I feel like going to the movies. Like, it just feels like such a weird thing to think about. I was like, man, I haven't gone to the movies. Like, this is just like, we've been so used to this routine of, like, be careful where you go. You can't really go anywhere publicly like that. If you do, it's like, make sure it's very, limited capacity. I was like, man, like, I just feel like going to the movies, It kind of hit me today. I was like, damn, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Where I had that moment of I'm so used to it that I forgot that I was able to go to the movies whenever I wanted or something. I don't know. It's really weird. But let's see, because I saw with Tenet now, there was an article that came out that Christopher Nolan, he's trying to hold that release date. He doesn't want to delay it anymore out of just to have good faith for movie theaters. He's really trying to just like make a stand so that to give, just I guess to keep people hopeful.
The movie needs to make $500 million.
Yeah.
In order for it to be like it didn't flop.
Yeah.
And that's not gonna happen now. No one's going to the movies.
If theaters even do open, they won't be at full capacity.
Yeah.
And I respect. I get what he's trying to do. I'm not those people. There's a lot of people that are trying to like give him like shit for it. Like, oh, you're just so caught up in your own. I get it, man. Like he's just trying to not give up hope for movie theaters. If he pushes back
Tenet, that's the end of the movies. There's no point in reopening the theaters.
Yeah,
now.
because everything is pushed back
to end of year.
Yeah.
And theaters can't wait until end of year to open.
Yeah, so that's
AMC is basically not doing well.
Yeah, a lot. The theaters are in a tough spot right now, and I get it. I respect him for just trying to, out of good faith, he's just trying to keep it hopeful for movie theaters and not give up right away.
Yeah.
But let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But I respect it. It's a tough. I don't see it as him just being arrogant and just like my movie needs to be in theaters. I think it's just more out of respect for movie theaters because he's always loved the idea of movie theaters. Because
especially now people are going all in on this whole digital.
Yeah, that's what I read some comments and people were like, "Oh, just release it on demand, and then, when everything comes back to normal, release it in theaters again." It's not gonna work, man.
I don't want to see Tenet at home.
It's not meant to be seen. It's nobody's fault, but let's just gotta wait it out. Let's see, But in the meantime, we've just been streaming, trying to watch some movies. We're trying to see what show to start.
I guess Ozark.
We were recommended. A friend of mine commented on our Instagram post about I think it was Dark.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah. I heard about
Netflix.
it. Isn't it's kind of like Stranger Things? I think, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
I have no idea, but
Well, I think it's like non-English. I think, right? Isn't it like
I don't
like a
know.
different?
I never heard of it. I saw that you recommended it to me, and I think I scrolled through it on Netflix. So that's something that maybe we could look at. We just been trying to see what to watch.
I'm
I haven't-
watching the Love, Death, Robots.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Watching
That
that.
one seems cool because it's like 20 minutes. It's you don't have to keep up
It's
with it.
short stories,
Yeah, it's
and-
short stories. We were just talking about now before we started the show about Ozark. Ozark is getting like that last season, and it's like I think in two parts. It's like
Yeah, it's like 14 episodes.
14 episodes, so it's just like 2 seasons in one, which I think is a smart move. I like that they're ending it. I've never seen Ozark. I heard it's
They
amazing.
say it's like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing, and I like the fact that they're still, even though it's so popular, like they're ending the story.
Yeah, 'cause
Even though I have
some
no idea what it's
shows-
about, but it goes to show that they're not letting the popularity convince them to keep going and stretch out the story when it doesn't need to be stretched out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's awesome. I think that's gonna be my next big show to watch.
I want to watch the Sopranos too.
Yeah, Sopranos.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, and let's see. I think Ozark. I think I'm gonna go with Ozark for like my serious shot. We saw, I saw Ratatouille for the first time like last week. I had never seen it. I don't know why. That was a great movie. I mean, Pixar did great there.
Yeah, so the cooking in that movie is actually very accurate.
Yeah, they said the movie's very accurate with all the details. Of course, Pixar is always detailed, and I loved what the movie had to say about like critics in general. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was like that scene with that critic. I was like, man, I was like, that's kind of like.
Yeah, it's referring to food critics, but the overall theme of the movie is definitely about, giving artists like a chance and like also like how easy it is to give negative criticism towards an artist, but not respecting the fact of how much care and passion they put into it. So I think that was a really cool theme for Ratatouille. Pixar always does well with that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really great, especially the end of the movie. They gave a whole speech from the critic about critics, and it's really great. I think he said even it was like a quote, even the best like negative review from a critic, it's not worth like you can have an average dish. In this case, it's talking about Ratatouille. You can have an average dish, but that's worth so much more in value because of the passion and like hard work they put into it than just someone who just gives a negative, just than any of the best reviews you can give as a critic, because it's true, at the end of the day, someone is putting everything in something and they're creating it for you to judge, which is really cool, so Ratatouille was really cool. I really liked it. I don't know why I'd never seen it. You had seen it before, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was one of those that kind of slipped through, but it was great stuff. And it made me excited because I know Epcot in Orlando and Disney, they're doing a whole like ride for it and stuff like that. We saw Ratatouille. I guess let's get into Scoob first, or should we talk about Fantastic Four?
Honestly, it's how much to say about it. It's ass.
No, yeah. No, let's talk about Scoob. Because Scoob, I did have a couple of thoughts on it. We saw Scoob. It was actually one of the recommendations we had on Instagram on our last post. I think it was like last week. I'm kind of like in the middle with it. I think it definitely has some funny moments.
Yeah.
Like there's some funny moments. I don't know. I caught myself like laughing, like really laughing. I was like, wow, that was funny.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but
yeah,
it's funny.
like that was really funny. But I also felt it kind of dragged in the beginning. I liked the opening sequence with them as kids and how Scooby and Shaggy become friends and how the whole group meet and then the intro song and all that. I thought that was great. But I think it was when Scooby and Shaggy get like abducted. And like I think it was the fact that they were split up the whole time.
Yeah.
That I was kind of like, it felt a little draggy. There are some funny moments.
And the story, I was like, oh, this is what
The
they
story's
went with.
the story's very like big.
Yeah,
you know?
I did not expect the story to go like that. I thought it
Yeah.
would be more like grounded.
Yeah, it's a very big story. It's like them just apart the whole time. Uh, the humor, it's a kids film, so I'm not gonna. I definitely get that,
Yeah.
but there's some funny moments in it. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
It's funny.
It was a little draggy in the middle when it
Yeah.
was, I thought the Blue Falcon could have been funnier. I liked the idea of him. There was some parts that he was really funny,
Yeah.
but there was some parts that fell flat. I felt like he could have actually. I loved the idea of him being like.
Yeah, that was a missed.
Yeah, it was a missed opportunity
Yeah.
there. There was funny moments, but it could have been
Like when he gets the wings and he hits. I don't know why I found that funny. When
And he
like,
launches up
When
and
he
he
launches
hits
up, he
them.
hits
Yeah.
himself over and over. I
Yeah,
don't
he has
why.
some funny moments. But I feel like the idea of the character, there should a lot of missed moments with him. But I enjoyed it. The one of the funnier scenes
With Tracy Morgan.
was that Tracy Morgan? He
Yeah.
plays the little
little-
kind of like
The
caveman
little caveman, the little
in the
fat little
planet.
caveman. Yeah.
And like one of the birds like
Shits on the floor.
they pretty much drop like a hot turd. And they're like, oh, and he's like, oh, don't worry, if it lands on you, just rub it in. It's like lotion.
I don't know why. Like
That killed me.
Like I don't know why I loved it.
Because
like,
I just imagined like that character, that little meanie caveman character, like
Just
a
rubbing-
turd just dropping on him, and he just like rubs it in.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It was really
I think
funny.
it's the way he said it.
It was delivered well, yeah. Like that one stuck on me. Like I still think about that line because it was really.
I don't know.
funny.
Yeah, it was weird.
And yeah, I like the whole Scooby and Shaggy like that friendship storyline and stuff like that. But the main issue I had, I think, was just that they were separate the whole time.
Yeah.
And the story was a little like bonkers. Like it was like
Yeah.
this whole thing.
I was so confused by it.
Yeah. And
In a
but
sense, it's like, it's about this big gate and like this demon thing. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
and he has the key.
Yeah, I
he's
thought
the
it was gonna be
key.
like them like how he's in the show.
Yeah,
Like
like
some
like
ghosts.
a simpler thing.
You know,
But-
it's like this fake ghost or whatever.
and I kind of want to watch the shows now just to see,
Yeah.
But I liked it.
The villain had like I don't know why that one scene with the villain Dick.
Yeah. He kept saying Rick or something.
Yeah, he kept calling me Rick. He's like, no, it's Dick.
Yeah, I was like,
Dick.
what's going on here? What's going on here, Warner Brothers?
Yeah, they really went all in.
Yeah, he was
because
just
they
going all
really
out.
went all the way with that Dick.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a funny joke.
Yeah.
And the funny one was at the end when he's when he finds his partner, his dog,
Yeah.
and he thinks he's dead, and he's like crying, and
He's-
the dog is just
like,
crying.
laughing.
He's laughing because he's acting dead to see what he does. That was really funny too. It had some funny moments, or like one moment that was kind of a missed opportunity for me that I was like getting ready to laugh was when Fred's car breaks, when it blows up, and he's like looking at it and he's putting the shield on, and
Yeah,
they built it up perfectly, like him like. He was like, "No, my car," and then, but I think the joke kind of fell flat when he just kind of got hit.
Yeah.
I felt like they could have done something else with it, but it was funny. It has funny moments, like Fred with the
cop.
the cop, but it was actually the villain in
He's like, I'm
disguise.
so confused right now.
yeah, like that stuff was funny. That stuff it has funny moments. The story's a little bonkers, but I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I just
'cause
didn't like that they were separated the whole time. A lot of the movie
Yeah.
is let's go get Scooby and
And
Shaggy.
Simon Cowell is in the movie.
Yeah, let's go get Scooby and Shaggy, and then they'll find Shaggy, but then now Scooby is kidnapped, so they gotta go. It's a lot of them just being separated, and
Maybe
then they
they're better in
come.
the sequel. If
Yeah,
there's a
they do
sequel.
sequel bait. They do sequel bait, which would be cool. If they did, I wouldn't mind a sequel.
It worked better as like this type because I think a live action. just
Yeah,
doesn't
like the
work.
live action one. James Gunn. It was gonna be like this rated R. Like
Yeah.
there was like a scene like and it makes sense because when I watched the movie as a kid, the live action.
You don't notice that.
I never noticed the adult elements in that movie, Like, the characters were just very sexualized, and there was, like, sexual jokes and sexual tension. Or when Shaggy's looking for his friends, and he's like sniffing, and then he's smelling the weed, and then he sees them, he finds them by
He's like-
smelling the weed, and they're like, ah! Like, I was like, wow. Like, look at it now. It's like,
I remember in that beach scene with the girl.
yeah, there's like a,
I remember when I was little, I was like, man, I was like, this character is like now I look, I was like, man, this character's being very sexual.
yeah.
But
And as
again,
a
when I was
kid,
little,
you
I don't-
brush it off.
Yeah, but I was like, man, why is this character being so like sexual right now?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. And again, it was one of those things. It's crazy what editing can do to a movie, because
But now when you look at it now, it does have that rated R look.
there's a rated R cut there because the studio backed out like last second and they just recut the movie to make it PG.
Sucks.
It's
I
crazy.
would love to see it.
Yeah, it's crazy what editing can do. How you can make a movie.
Because what if it's really funny?
I'm sure it was.
Like,
but
'cause, like,
I can understand like it would
Scooby-Doo.
hurt the image of Scooby Doo, because imagine trying to watch this movie, the animated one, knowing that there's a rated R version, and you won't be able to see those characters the same.
Man, because they're trying to like sexualize
Yeah.
the movie. I was like, damn.
So even if you try to watch watch it as a cartoon,
we should watch it.
Yeah, we probably should just rewatch them to see, because they have them both on
They
HBO
made
Max.
2 parts, right?
Yeah, on HBO Max.
And then I don't know how that got a sequel.
I don't know. I guess it made money, and yeah, the studio backed out last second. And it's crazy what editing can do, where you can cut it from this rated R film to a PG, but it still has those little rated R moments.
Because I remember in the movie, I was seeing them in the castle. There's a guy, the guy that was chasing him, he's dressed up very weird. And I was like, man, something about this movie, like the outfits and stuff in this movie is very adult-like.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some scenes where, like, with the guy in the castle, like, I forgot the outfit he was wearing, but I don't know, it's just, you just see the vibes.
Yeah,
in that movie.
it's very interesting. I would like to see.
I would love to see a rated R.
Yeah, that rated R cut. You know.
Hopefully they get that hashtag going.
Yeah, it's crazy. And speaking with editing and all that stuff, how it can change a movie. And we're just to talk about it briefly, because I'm not gonna do a full review on this movie, but we saw Fantastic Four last night as well.
It's a snooze fest.
And man, I mean, this movie, it's 40 minutes of build up for the first act, and then
2 minutes of
and
fighting.
then third act, straight into the third act. It's an hour and 30 minutes.
Just like a whole middle.
The whole second
where's
act.
the second act? Like where is it? It's gone.
And we checked the time, and by the time they actually get their powers, it's maybe 50 minutes in. The villain doesn't come in till 15 minutes before the movie.
And he looks like ass.
And when they get their powers, there's just a year time jump explaining how they've been using their powers. And then, okay, now it's time to build the quantum machine again.
To go back.
And that's the third act, where the villain comes in. And that's the end. It's like, what? Where's the... this is my second time watching it, and it was just as confusing as the first time. Nothing happens, you know? And it's a shame, because when we looked into it, Josh Trank, he said that there's his version, but again, the studio backed out, and they just decided they did massive reshoots, which you can tell, because Miles Teller in a lot of the scenes towards the third act, you can see the green screen. You can tell it's just him like, all right, let's get these shots in real quick and go. And it's kind of disappointing, because those first 40 minutes are pretty solid, you know? And the elements of when Miles Teller's character, his powers, his arms are like stretched out, and it kind of has like that horror element to it, how scary that is, and it's like that horror sci-fi. All that was interesting, but then the second half of the movie just completely off the rails. I mean, we saw the trailers, and all the trailer footage that you see is completely different from the final film. So much was cut out, and what we found out was that Josh Trank, the studio, cut back $30 million last minute right before shooting. So a lot of the action scenes had to be cut out, which involved like the Thing jumping in this battlefield, and so from what we read up and what we saw, a lot of it was to the fault of both sides. You know, Josh Trank didn't really react correctly. I mean, from what we heard and what they're saying, he lashed out at the studio completely, where he trashed his rental home that the studio provided for him to go film. It was like $100,000 in damages, and it was. I mean, he almost got in a fight with Miles Teller on set. He blocked himself off on set in a tent. He didn't talk to anybody. My guess is that he was really upset that he can't tell his version of what he wanted to tell, especially that you got approved. It was time to shoot.
Yeah.
You
can't do that, though.
Yeah, you can't do that. And there was rumors about the script not even being done, because I guess there was a lot of reshoots, rewrites, and but the studio also just kind of like decided, hey, we're cutting this back. We changed our minds, and that never helps a movie. because that movie bombed. That movie bombed, and that never helps a movie. If you decided on a vision and a goal, just go all the way. Because if you try to change what you already established and try to make into something else without preparation, you're just gonna make it bad. You know, Justice League had the same issue with the Zack Snyder cut now coming out. Apparently, Suicide Squad had the same issue where they changed their mind last minute. Suicide Squad ended up being what it was. Fantastic Four. Unlike Scooby-Doo is not really that case. I think it made enough money where they made a sequel, but it's Scooby-Doo. You can get away with that. Yeah. But with these types of stories, you can't. You know, and it's a shame because the first 40 minutes was pretty solid.
Yeah,
you can see potential there. You know,
we'll never know.
It was like a bold take.
Because I remember the trailer, the color palette.
Yeah, everything was different.
And when I was watching the final battle, it was very dark, and then when I see the trailer, it was bright. It was like there was color, and there was like scenes with the sister holding someone crying.
Yeah. So. And then a lot of footage was just cut out.
The fighting was so bad. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. The whole all the footage in the trailer is just cut out. So there's a whole I'm assuming a whole second half of a movie that's completely different.
There's probably a good version of it.
You can tell from what it looks like to me when we saw it was the second half, like the second act of the movie. They just condensed it. They cut it all out and just put it into that one scene where the general's recapping to us basically after the year time jump what they've been doing, and you see like they're watching the TV of what they've been doing, and I feel like those were the actual scenes that were supposed to be in the movie, and they just cut it to that. And then we just jumped into the third act. Like, the villain comes in 15 minutes before the movie ends.
And he's such a bad villain.
Because there's no...
He doesn't do anything. He's like, I just want to go back to my planet.
Yeah. And he kills...
The dad.
And
the guy, whatever.
Very random.
He's like, I just want to go back to my planet. Leave me alone.
And then he kills the dad, and then they're like, oh, no, you didn't. And then that was it. They start fighting. They kill him.
They literally fight for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
Such a weird movie. But let's see what the MCU, what they do over there now with...
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, supposedly Emily Blunt, John Krasinski. John Krasinski matches as Reed. I can see that.
I just love Emily Blunt. So.
Anything she's in, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see. That would be cool. But, yeah, that movie was very strange. I just wanted to, talk about it because it makes perfect sense when the studios try to change something last minute and all that. But you can see the potential, you know.
Good
and
cast.
Josh Trank, the fact that he tweeted right when the movie came out, my version is out there, but you'll never see it. I was like, man, that sucks. And that just, I'm sure, bombed the movie even more. He probably
has it, it's done, it's there. You can't see it.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe not fully done, but...
Well, they probably edited it. And probably like a
VFX.
Like a Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, VFX and stuff like that.
Release the Trank cut.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. MCU has it. Let's see what they do. Hopefully they do well. Yeah.
And let's see what the MCU does.
I don't know what they're doing.
But Disney, I really wanted to talk about Hamilton because, man, it's really impressive what they did with that Broadway show. It's popular. It sells out every time it goes on its tour for either in New York or in the Broadway,
super expensive.
If it goes around the world. Yeah, it's very pricey. But the production in that show is insane.
High quality.
We saw it. We saw it on Disney Plus.
4th of July.
Yeah, on the 4th of July, actually. Yeah, well, yeah, and it lined up perfectly with the show. Which now it makes sense why because I had no idea what this play was about. I just saw Hamilton, that was it. So I had no idea what was coming, what to expect from this Broadway show.
I thought it was like a play, like they're acting. Like I didn't know they were singing.
Yeah, like your general play,
how they're acting it out. They're like, I didn't know it was a musical. I didn't.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Think it was a musical.
And so when part of me, if it was a musical, I was like, okay, it's just a regular musical.
I didn't think it was like this. So.
But when Disney announced this and when it came out, this Disney Plus got 500+ million new subscribers.
I have a feeling that they probably did that because I have a feeling their ratings weren't doing too well on Disney Plus in the sense of they probably didn't have that many people.
No. Disney Plus is doing well, but I think
because of Hamilton.
But... No. But even before they were doing well.
Really?
Yeah. But it was just
they don't have that much.
Disney can they're smart. You know, it was a good
surprised
move.
they even did it.
They probably paid a lot of money, but it's paying off because now you're getting more people.
But I'm surprised that Hamilton they actually wanted to do that because
They probably got paid well. I'm assuming to be on Disney Plus. I'm sure they paid them a good amount. But
and that's a very popular show, so to buy to own it,
it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity. We saw it, and man, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea of anything.
I didn't know it was me singing.
I was so blind on everything. So when it started, and I start hearing them talk in modern speaking, you know, like the
modern lingo,
like yo yo yo, and then they started rapping. I was like, what? It threw me off. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
yeah.
And then I started like realizing, you know, a few minutes in the show, I was like, oh, like I thought it was so clever that they implemented modern music style
to keep your attention
and lingo. They implemented like the modern stuff musically with this, I mean, old story of the, you know, this is old. This is historical, you know. So I love the fact that they mixed the two together to bring it to mix it. It's very clever. I've never really seen that before, and they did so well. I mean, they were Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean,
I don't know how to say his name.
He wrote it. The lyrics.
6 years working on it.
He stars in it. You know, he's Alexander Hamilton. This guy, I mean, they all did amazing. You know, it's a one big collaboration, and the production in this show is so amazing. And we saw some behind the scenes stuff. The music director,
the composer,
and all that. And he was showing under the stage what they have, and it's him. He's playing the piano live. They're playing everything live under stage. I was like, man, you have to make sure
you're in sync.
The music, you have to be playing the music in sync, while the actor has to be in sync with you, while also doing the choreography on point. The person in control of the lighting has to make sure that the light switch changes for that. You know, when there's a scene that they look this way, the light flickers. Everything has to be on point. That's so scary. You know what I mean? That's so impressive. You have a guy playing live piano. Then you have Lin-Manuel remembering almost 3 hours worth of script.
You can't mess
and
up.
It's not just script like he's acting. He has to rap it out. So he has to act and rap. And I mean, they're rapping like this. Like, this is like Eminem stuff. You know what I mean? It's really impressive. And it was so...
They must have an earpiece or something.
But
because man, there's no way he can...
It's at that point, it's like performing. It's like performing a concert.
Yeah, but that's different.
But it's a lot harder because you're acting as well.
Because you have to act. Yeah, because you can't be laughing or messing around.
And there was a scene when the king, his musical cues were awesome. I thought he did really good. The da da dee dee da da. He was funny. Like, it was funny, you know. But there was a point where he spit. Because he was just singing, and he was so in character, and he spit on himself here, like on his bottom lip. Anybody else's reaction would be to like wipe it off and keep going, but he literally just stayed in his zone.
Spit.
No, but you know what I mean. You're not. I think even who was playing Hamilton, I think he at one point very quickly he went like, I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Something I forgot what happened, but he kind of like itched his nose real quick. And then like went like very quickly, and then just kept like performing. When George Washington was talking to him, it was in the background. And even then, that was him being like because it throws you you kind of get off character for a second. And the guy playing the king of Britain, I don't know, anybody else, I feel like their reaction would be to like, you know, I don't know, wipe it off or something. And he just kept going, and you see it like it's just there on his bottom lip. And I don't know. It's something so small, but it just shows the focus that these people are. You know what I mean? I don't even think they're aware of the crowd. It's just you're just performing. Because remember, that beam of light is hitting your face. The crowd is just all black. You don't see anything until the lights turn on.
Yeah.
So imagine you're just performing, and that's such a big stage, you know? That's a really big stage. The production on this is amazing. The acting,
High quality.
the music, the way they used the stage, you know? And I thought the story was really well done. It's almost a 3-hour play, musical. And the fact that they use modern music, like rapping, and they made it very hip-hop and stuff like that, it actually, you're able to grasp the information more. And I don't know, it kept me more engaged rather than the traditional approach.
Yeah, because it would have been boring.
You know, for some people maybe, but the fact that they added that and they mixed up this little style, it's really great stuff. I mean, and there's a lot of high actors in this. The music, the rapping, it was really cool.
Yeah,
and
I don't know how they do that. It's so much.
It's so in sync.
Yeah, it's like you can't mess up.
You have to go off stage, right? Maybe change your wardrobe, come back in at the exact cue because they're playing the music live. The person in control of the lighting is there waiting for the musical cue. It's just so many things there's so many ways it could go wrong or you could misstep, and it's just flawless the whole way. That's so impressive. I was honestly mind blown by the end of it.
I mean, the part where they like did that reverse, where they're like doing it backwards.
The song of I forgot the sisters. The sisters.
Not daughters. Sisters.
Yeah. So Hamilton had like two like love interests, and they were both sisters.
And then I was like showing from her point of view, and it was like rewinding.
It was rewinding the previous scene of when he first met her sister.
Yeah.
And it was her view on it, and the fact that they were performing this live, like music, choreography, dancing. You have the
people like moving in slow motion,
and then
like,
they had them moving
rewinding
at some points in slow motion, and I think the song was called Rewind, because they're all dancing and it's fluent, but then it was all leading back to set it up again for the same exact scene. In a movie, it would just cut and show you the same scene again, but here they had to act out the new scene of the song and somehow find a way to the choreography to come back around to bring it back to the same exact scene again. Then they reenacted the same scene again of him meeting the sisters, and then it was her recollection on it. That's so impressive. And there was some points I think they were moving like in slow motion, like if there was kind of rewinding, or when certain characters got shot, they would drop in slow motion, like if they, like if they're dying, and then the stage is circling and they're moving in circles, and then it was just flows right into the next scene. I mean, that's impressive. And I know for a fact, watching it on TV and watching it in person, I know it's two different experiences for sure. I can only imagine how it must be seeing it live.
If you have good seats.
Seeing it live must be mind-blowing, because even watching it on TV, by the end of it, I was like, wow. Especially the ending. It's a great story. It tells the story really well. It's really engaging. You're actually learning about this. Like, you're gathering the information. Because I know some musicals, sometimes you can kind of just zone out. And you're just like, but here you're actually understanding what's going on in a really interesting way, especially that it's very historical. Not a lot of people would find that interesting, but the fact that they implemented this modern stuff to make it interesting was really cool. This is high level. This is like Broadway stuff right there, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like high level. It was really awesome. It was really great.
I don't know how they do it that many times though.
Yeah, it's they run. They do it in runs. They just go for it.
I don't get tired.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great stuff, man. I mean,
have to do it like every.
Yeah, a couple times a week. Yeah.
It's so like.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, it's really well done, so well done, and yeah, I was actually invested in the story, and the ending was great, and the acting by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And the fact that he wrote this stuff and he's rapping it and acting it, it's really good. It's really good. Man, I it's something I would actually want to see it again, like in person. If I could see it, a Broadway show, if I could see that eventually at some point, that would be great. Because I know in different locations, it's different actors. And I think we saw on the Schmodown. some people who saw it in Chicago were like, oh yeah, the person who played the king,
He was alright.
he kind of flopped. Yeah, but then people in New York are like, oh my god, what do you mean? And that's the one that we saw with the main actors, and he killed it. He was so funny.
But that's
because of how still he was. That's what they were saying. The other king in Chicago, that he was kind of moving too much, so that when he does do that little movement thing, you know, that little movement dance with the shrug on his shoulders, that it wasn't as effective. And the one that we saw, he was so still. So he was just like, you know, his eyes were moving, and he was singing, and I don't know, it was really like catchy, his music. And then so when he does move his shoulders, or he does it catches you, you know. I don't know, it was great stuff, you know. Just from a musical play standpoint, Broadway,
Yeah.
it was great, you know. If you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely watch it, because
Yeah, watch it. Because I don't know how long it's going to be there for. I don't know how long they'll keep it.
I'm sure it's going to be for some time.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be
obviously.
for some time. And there is like a 30-minute discussion like with the actors and crew, but it's through Zoom call.
I don't like that.
So it's not really an actual round table, which is kind of a bummer for me, because I love, you know, like those round table discussions, like the Mandalorian making and stuff like that.
So I was like, it's Zoom. So like, it's one person with a bad connection. And they're like,
yeah, I hate that.
So,
but it's really well done. I saw an interview with the creators, like the director, the choreographer, Lin-Manuel Miranda, like the playwright, and the musical director, and they were all saying how it was kind of like this weird miracle of like they just all understood each other's vision, and they were able to just collaborate so well. There was not many differences where they were all on the same page in a way where, and it shows in the play. I mean, it's really good. The choreography is great. The music.
Yeah, it's just, you have to know your dance moves. Then you have to know the lines. Then you have to act.
And you have to know what you're rapping. Because it's not just memorizing lines like a movie.
Yeah, because a movie you mess up, you do it again. This you mess up, you have to like
you are performing a live 3-hour movie. And it's not just a movie, it's a musical. It's really great stuff.
Because imagine like a halfway play like.
It makes sense. It could happen. I think they want to make it happen. I don't know about now, but
man, because like this is 3 hours. Imagine like a halfway play like 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's like damn.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Broadway is one of the main things I really want to see. You know,
they don't do that because you have to watch it in person. That's the thing. They don't. Yeah. They don't really show.
But it's awesome that Disney Plus,
the biggest play,
they got this. Right, yeah, it's a smart move. Business-wise, but also
because that was like they filmed in 2016.
Yeah, it's from 2016, but it's also great that they did this for people like us that can't watch it. Maybe they can't go, and you're seeing the best performances right there. Like that's
the top of the top.
Yeah, you got the creator of the show, like the
I would
play.
love to see the King Kong one.
Yeah, there's a King Kong. I think there's like Aladdin, Lion King. There's some great ones.
I want to see the King Kong and the Harry Potter one.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, guys, it's really great. The story flows really well. It's long, but it's a play. It's what you'd expect. That's what you go to Broadway for. That's what you pay the top dollar for. I thought the ending was super engaging. I won't spoil it, but there's like a duel, right? And the it's just so well done because again, you have the stage circling, so the actors are still. And like when they shoot, there's like an actor playing as like if they're holding the bullet, and as the bullet is coming towards the actor, that actor is like singing and like expressing their thoughts in that moment, and it's like all like this real time slow motion thing going on, but it's them. They're performing this live. There's no visual effects in a movie where you can cheat this stuff. This is all live. So when they have to act like if they're moving in slow motion, they're moving in slow motion. It's really impressive, man. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, definitely watch it because it's a really cool experience. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot. And you know, of course, there's always gonna be factual stuff that are incorrect, and I think even Lin-Manuel talked about. He's like, look, it's a 2 hours and 40-minute play, and you have to condense that as much as you can if you do want to learn the whole story. I think there was like 4-hour documentary that we saw on YouTube or something like that.
Oh,
I saw something like that on YouTube, like on the whole Alexander Hamilton story. But what they did here was really impressive. With even like the battle scenes, they implemented with music, and the story just flowed so well.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, should we rate it? Do you want to give it a rating?
I mean, I have to give it a 10 because that's not easy to do.
It's just so impressive. Yeah,
that's
I
really
can't
like,
even.
I don't like shitting on plays because it's like I can't do what those people do.
That's impressive.
Because like acting in a movie is completely different. Because you mess up, okay, you do it again.
Yeah, you can have 30 takes, but they are performing
like you
a
fuck up on this.
3-hour.
Imagine what if something happens to the composer, a piano breaks or something, like one of the keys.
Or an actor, he trips or he pulls a muscles, and he like literally
like or he chokes on his saliva.
He has the shits.
Yes.
I've always thought about that. Like, man, what do you do?
Big,
You're in the middle of a big play.
I want to guess. Like
they must cleanse out before.
Yeah, they have to. They have to. Like they must be so like
They
don't
have to be
eat
so
like don't eat anything. Mm-hmm. Just don't eat anything, so your body doesn't
You
get.
don't want Hamilton eating a nice burger right before, or a nice
don't
New
want to
York
miss
pizza.
Mike. Oh.
Yeah. Dude, you think not? What do you do? You can't stop.
Well, what they do is they have like tricks to it, which like you notice like when Hamilton comes out, then like it's a whole scene with this other guy.
Yeah,
so
yeah. They
that
have
gives
little
him,
moments of breaks, but I mean the Hamilton actor, he's
mostly
in a lot.
The one who did really good was that George Washington guy. But George Washington, that he has some good scenes. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Everybody in this does great.
It's good stuff. I mean, yeah, there always is facts that are incorrect, probably.
Yeah, there's some things that are left out or whatever, but I didn't find that a big deal because at the end of the day, it was just an entertaining, great musical.
You can't do everything at once.
I've always thought about that. What do you do, man? Everything has to be so in sync. What if you just one little misstep?
Or have a power outage.
What do you do? Not a power outage, because there it's like, okay, it's not our fault.
But I don't know, but that was like you're about to like
a
you're
cue
midway.
of like, what if the spotlight doesn't hit you, or the spotlight doesn't work?
What if the spotlight breaks?
Keep going, yeah. Or what if you do have to go to the bathroom in the middle of a musical cue? You're on a high note.
Oh my pants!
What do you do?
Or one of those.
Do you have to just suck it in?
Because we saw the composer in the bottom. We saw a crowd. What if one of those guys falls, like he trips, and like he breaks something that? Well, was it like the guys that they have backups? It's like one.
Oh yeah, they have backup power.
Yeah, they have backup one. Like so, one thing broken here. All right, switch to the other.
That's impressive, man. For that musical director.
And that composer, he literally has to. He's watching them live. He has a camera watching the stage.
Yeah.
Then he's reading
and they're
like
watching
his notes,
him,
like watching his musical cue, and then like people like the drummer, bass, guitar is watching a camera that's watching the composer.
Yeah.
So then you have to just all.
That's all.
And
in
then
cue.
So because they're
for
making
3 hours.
They're making the beats for the actors on top. And also like and what the guy was saying, the composer also there's like a latency issue where you're pressing a key.
Yeah, you press the key and you probably don't even hear till like a few seconds. So there's like a delay. So that I feel like that mentally just throws you off.
Yeah, he said that it took some time for him to get adjusted because like he's pressing that key, then there's no sound
until a few seconds.
Until a few seconds. So then like you have to make sure you're still
so scary because it has to be on cue with the actor. That's the main thing. It's impressive stuff, man. It's impressive stuff. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out.
That's just tough. Man.
Check it out. It's high. That's like high quality production right there.
That's why I can't criticize.
It's so hard to
it's hard to criticize.
You are performing a live 3-hour play. You have to memorize 3 hours worth of a script, and it's not just script talking dialogue. It's a musical. You have to rap, sing,
dance.
You have to memorize all of that live.
And then like you have to go change wardrobe.
All that, you have to memorize all of that in a 3-hour play live, and you can't mess up once. Because the second
even those backup dancers too, they have to be on cue when they're bringing up the prompts.
When to get out, when to move the prop away, when to spin the stage, when to.
Like I don't know if that was a mistake in the play when the dancer put the chair.
No, I think that was part of his joke.
Think?
Like he went like to put the chair there. I think that's what.
Because
it's like kind of him being snobby or something. Like, give me my chair. Maybe, but I thought about that too. It's like, oh, was that? I don't think so though.
Because again, if the mistake does happens, they just play it off.
Yeah,
as part of it.
Yeah, The one thing I'm sure seeing it live is so much better because here we did get like camera cuts, but also it does help you see the acting. You do appreciate the acting a lot more because the camera's right in their face, so you're seeing the emotion.
Well, do they see that camera?
No. It's probably just a really good, good camera where from a distance. But here you do get camera cuts, so they kind of cut it like a movie. So you can't really enjoy like the full presentation of the stage. You can't appreciate the background stuff as much because they are focusing on whoever is singing at the time or whoever it's on. Sometimes you do get a full shot of the whole stage, but it does help you appreciate the acting a lot more because you see the actor's face right there as opposed to sitting in the stands. And you can see their emotion and you can tell they're singing because their veins are popping. But I'm sure seeing it in person is a whole different experience because you're there, you see the stage, the music.
But again, it's
two different experiences.
I don't know how the seats work there, but it's like if you have like a bad seat and you can't really like see that well.
Well, you can probably see well, but again, you're just at a distance. It's all different experiences.
Yeah.
This experience was definitely
honestly,
really
the
cool.
Best experience would probably be watching at your own home. Just in the sense
I don't know. It's two different experiences.
But in the sense of you're seeing like the
for
acting.
that, but in the sense of the experience and the spectacle.
Oh yeah, it's always better in person.
So it's like two different things, but I mean, it was great.
That was great.
It was great. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for listening from wherever you're listening from. As always, we appreciate it. Check out our Instagram at 3_ Cruzin. Check us out on Twitter at Cruzin Films. We're always posting news articles and stuff like that with anything that's going on entertainment-wise and keeping you guys updated. And follow us on Twitch. We're streaming pretty often now at Cruzin Streams. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. And to the next one. Goodbye.